to get started.
7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock?
Time to rock.
All right,
Call to order.
all right. Joe is not on yet. So let's go to Lynn, let's start.
We want to skip over the DPW salt shed.
That's correct,
We'll come
until
back.
Joe comes back on.
Okay, so we have administrative actions, the meeting minutes, the monthly invoices, and then a quick budget update, and then we have an internal change order to look at, as well as we want to talk about a PBC subcommittee for FF&E and IT
Right.
technology. Then we have a design and construction update and the schedule update.
Okay,
So I move that we approve the May 15th, 2025 Permanent Building Committee meeting minutes.
I second.
any questions or comments? Seeing none, is anybody object to the minutes being approved? Seeing none, all minutes are approved. You want to go to the invoices, Lynn?
I move that we approve left field invoices as presented for a total of $145,000.
I second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none. Jason?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Chip?
Yes.
And it's unanimous.
I move that we approve SMMA's total invoices for a sum of $145,957 as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none. Jason?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Chip?
Yes.
It's unanimous. All
I
right.
move that we approve UTS's total invoices for a sum of $8,766.75 as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none. Jason?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Chip?
Yes.
It's unanimous. Now, Lynn, can Chip just move the total amount?
Like I just did
Yes.
for everybody else.
Yes.
We don't have to go all 30 subparts.
No, it's just divided in the various divisions because that's the way we have to bill it on ProPay for reimbursement.
Okay. So I move that we approve bonds invoice for $8,932,015.25 as broken out in the divisions as shown.
I will second that.
Any questions or comments? None on 9 mil.
Could be a new record, isn't it?
Yeah, it is our new record. That's right. Jason,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Chip,
Yep.
unanimous.
Total invoices for today total $9,231,739.
The easiest $9 million ever spent. Well, probably not.
Probably not.
No, we've done 15 and 20 before. Wait till we get into the heart of it.
All right,
Now we have the.
So Chris, if you go to the tabs, it'll go to each slide. I see you don't have the PowerPoint, so if you use the bookmarks, it'll go to the next slide.
Yeah, okay. Can you still see me? Because I keep getting kicked off here.
I only see myself in a big old screen.
You see the same thing.
You're like the Wizard of Oz, man.
Yeah.
Keep getting booted off here. Try again.
Here we go.
all right.
So if you go to the bookmarks, you can hit the next slide.
Okay,
Okay, so as of May 2025, we've committed 92% of the budget and expended 31%. Our construction budget remains at the 223.9 million, and our uncommitted amount of budget is 21.7 million. Our owner's construction contingency hasn't been touched and remains at 11 million. and the owner's soft cost contingency. We use some of that for various amendments and stuff, but we are at $1,969,084. You should see this in the OPM monthly report as well.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none. Okay. Next one.
Wait, do we have what bonds contingency is
Yeah.
there somewhere?
Yeah, it's coming up in the slides.
It's on another slide coming up.
All right.
It's not in that, it actually doesn't throw specifically in that, right?
For this one, it's right after cash flow.
Okay,
But our cash flow, again, we are tracking ahead of the projected. We're tracking at 83, basically $84 million, and our projected was to be at 74.6 million at this point. And again, it has to do with the progress of the job, but also we evenly distributed, oh, that's a spelling error. We evenly distributed the owner's contingencies with each month, and we really haven't used those, so that's why we're tracking higher.
Yep.
So if
Any
you go
questions?
to the next slide, that'll show the, if you hit the,
Yeah, go ahead.
Chris, hit the next one.
Sorry, Chris. Yeah.
That's what you want, right?
yeah. it's a
No.
good-
I can't see, you gotta hit it on the screen.
Don't yell at me, Lynn. I think I.
Well, it's not showing up on ours, the
No,
the cash flow still there.
Switched, and I don't know if I'm hung up again.
Frozen.
It looks like you're frozen again. Cause your cursor's not even
Yeah.
moving.
Can I share?
Yeah, can you do it, Lynn? Yeah.
Yeah, just hang on one second.
Says I'm screen sharing, and that's.
Try sharing the document on the screen.
Okay. Maybe it's
This is gone now.
Yeah, it's gonna kick off again.
Mark's on the call too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Mark.
And who's on the call? Is Joe there? Yeah.
Not
Hey,
yet.
everybody.
Joe might not have gotten notification it was tonight.
You may not have.
Not sure about that.
John, that's a good point.
Yeah, because he's usually pretty good about showing up. We can approve it.
You have to stop screen sharing.
Yeah, I got it. I got it up
Okay,
again.
got it?
All right.
Okay, this is,
Chip has
I only have
one
one
comment here.
question.
Yeah,
What is Bond's GMP contingency? Because I know what consiglies is.
Bond, sorry.
Sorry, I couldn't let that one go.
Sorry about that. No, I stole this slide from another presentation.
Oh, you think maybe?
And I updated it, but I guess I didn't hit that.
The numbers are all right.
Yes, the numbers are correct. Sorry about that. So out of our 8,560,401 bond GMP contingency, we've expended $1,311,845.
And you
And-
did it, and tonight's is not included in that, right?
No.
No, sorry.
That'll be moved over once we get official approval.
And you only move it over after approval. So is there a way? It doesn't matter, because we still.
So typically when we do owners construction and soft costs, I will record it in the meeting, what the impact would be to the budget. And we can start doing that on the GMP contingency as well.
If
you
it's
want.
just this slide, I'd love that,
Okay, yeah,
because then we know where we stand, because we're gonna
Right.
approve it, so. Probably. As long as everybody agrees.
Lynn, as far as like a GMP contingency on other projects, is this doing way better than normal?
we're doing really well, I
Yeah,
think.
okay, that's what I was
personally.
Don't jinx it. What are you doing?
What are you thinking?
It's a healthier contingency.
It was a healthy, well,
Well, it's just.
it really
Healthier,
wasn't all
healthier, I
that
should
healthy
say.
when we did it. I mean,
Well, I will say that I've had projects that are healthier contingencies that are not as,
All right, that's, okay,
feel
good.
better.
Now we
How's
don't, now I'm not totally tense.
That's better.
No, I think we're just doing really well. I mean, we're out of the ground. Think about
yeah,
that.
I know,
I,
that's
I
the
think
thing.
we're in a really good position.
Yeah. And
The
like this.
next,
no
the
new-
next slide is,
We're, one quick thing, Lynn, the owner's soft cost, we spent 235,000.
yes.
Some of that's on the road, the
Is that-
parking
yeah, is
lot
that-
age.
This is for all the various amendments for the OPM designer and.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
And amendments for the CM prior to, GMP.
Okay.
And parking lot H and all those
Yeah.
things we've asked them.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure. All right.
So the next is the
Status of holes and
holes and allowances and the status of those. What I thought was really good here is that in terms of a percentage of our expenditure of holes and allowances, we're at 33%, and our construction progress is at 33% too. So you couldn't be more exact on how this has been distributed in my mind, so. But we've used 308,546 of holes, and we've used 1,516,216 of allowances. But with holes and allowances, we have a remaining balance of 3,669,118.
Any questions or comments? All right, great. Thanks, Lynn.
So the next is our internal change order number 11. And as you see here, each of the PCOs that are listed here, it tells you in red where they're being drawn from. And when it says contingency, it's coming from the GMP contingency. And so this change order has 11 pages here. If you want to go to the next slide, Chris. And you can see on this one, it's mostly contingencies with a couple of allowance usages and holes usages. Blah. Next one.
On the next page for the total.
A couple more.
There are two more
Um,
allowances, and then you gotta skip past here to the
There we
one
go.
before, the one before. Oh, I guess not. Okay,
Should be a total somewhere
You just
on
gotta
it.
go to the
There
end.
was a total.
Yeah, there was a total.
I thought there was a total on here, but
I was gonna say $0.
it is a $0 change, but I thought we also had the total that was being applied to contingencies,
contingency.
holes and allowances.
Actually, I'm looking at it and I don't see it.
Okay,
You just had a zero.
okay.
3 pages of them.
Do we have a rough idea how much it was that's gonna be? I remember it being a couple 100,000.
It's like 300,000. I have it on that one I shared with you guys, that spreadsheet tracker. It's like,
At the working group.
That spreadsheet tracker is in here if you want to
Is it?
scroll down. Yes,
what is it? Yeah.
should be in there.
I don't think it's in here.
I can tell you. Hold on one second.
What do you think it was, about 300?
I can look it up. It's the one I'm like.
It's 354,000.
Yeah, it's around 80, yeah, about 340,000.
354.90.
Yeah, it's just fine.
Yeah.
So I think what will be great is, like you said, Lynn, if we just, when we look at the budget update, if we include what has been approved and then include this as what probably will be approved, and then what we have left.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Chris, if you can go back to the, what's the
Yeah.
change order number 11?
11.
I move that
So,
we,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
move that we approve the internal change order number 11 as presented this evening.
And it's $308,546.
Right, because there's some negatives.
Yeah,
It was
that's right, that's right.
90%.
Any questions or comments?
So is that a zero?
It's
Yes.
a zero.
It's a zero going to
To the GMP
GMP.
budget.
the bonds or
All
consignment.
internal, all internal
Yeah.
transfers.
Consignment GMP.
Consignment,
It's a $0 contract sum change.
Yeah, it's a zero sum, so we don't,
So
it doesn't hit our owner's contingency.
Bond
loan.
gets nothing completely.
No, bond gets, it's all part of their contingency.
All
right.
part of their GMP.
Yep. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Jason,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Yes. You vote yes, so
oh, it's unanimous.
there you go.
Next.
I'll say yes too.
Oh, Mark.
Oh, gee.
Sorry,
Poor guy comes in, spends all his time, you don't even call on him.
I was waiting for consigliere to call.
All right, let's go. Subcommittee.
Subcommittee.
Okay, thanks. I had a talk with Helen. There's Helen. There she is. About creating a subcommittee for the purposes of the FF&E and technology. Essentially, it's not gonna really get going until the next 2 to 3 weeks, because Helen indicated there's more work for the consultant to do and to prepare. So in about 2 to 3 weeks, we'll start doing that. I asked Aaron, Jason,
What?
Chrissy, and myself will serve as the subcommittee for the FF&E. We will then review all of that information because it's going to be pretty extensive. It'll be an official subcommittee, so it'll be noticed and everything. And other members of the committee can obviously join in. And then when it gets closer to reality, when we start looking at things, everybody will be looking at, all of the entire committee will be reviewing the actual FF&E from the technology. So with that,
Who is it again?
myself,
Yeah.
Jason, Aaron, and Chrissy.
Okay,
Gabriel.
sounds great.
Okay,
So I move that we approve the new FF&E Technology Subcommittee to oversee the FF&E technology selection and procurement process. The committee being of Joe, Jason, Aaron, and Chrissy.
Can I second that?
yeah, you can.
Then I second it.
All right. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Jason, Phil, Wayne, Aaron, Chip, myself, yes?
Yes.
All right,
All right.
Mark,
Mark,
all right.
Yes.
And I appreciate it, really, for Aaron and Chrissy and Jason. It's really gonna help it when we're done. Then then we can review things and review by the working group and then eventually the whole committee.
Just like we do contingencies and everything else.
Yeah.
The change orders.
I think it was just,
There's just gonna be so much.
there's so much. And we have to be, as obviously Lynn's forecast, and others have forecast, we gotta be very careful about the dollar amounts. All right, Conservation Commission update.
I think it's a design. of
Oh, sorry.
Construction. project.
All right, I don't do
Oh, no?
No,
I guess you're
Conservation
right.
Commission.
Hey, there, once,
Right.
So I think this is basically just to say that the order of conditions were signed and recorded, I think.
we got it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, because,
And then talk about the next steps about the zoning board of appeals and whether or not this was just a informal, or not informal, but do we need to have Brian McBrail be a part of this? Or is this just a simple present the revisions made?
I think we need to wait for parking lot H. Or
do 'em together.
do you want to do them all separate?
Yeah, no, I think that we had talked about doing them all at one time, so that's only one more trip in front of the ZBA, but do you think we need to have Brian represent us?
I would, just
Okay.
just gives it a little, first of all, he's fine doing it, but he'll want to put together some plans as minor modifications because, you know, he's gotta update the building inspector as to what's happened. So it's not just me telling the board it's okay. He'll want to do some things to make sure that we're belted and suspended.
Okay, I
So
just, I didn't
Once
know
we
how
get H
necessary it
done,
would be.
Then I think we can go. I mean, it's not gonna be an issue, so I don't think waiting a little bit's gonna hurt at all.
The only, and Marcus, if you want to speak up too, the only thing we were talking about is the infrastructure that they wanted to get. What's your,
We wanted to
what
get
would be
them
the best time for you guys to get in the ground with
either
infrastructure?
later this summer or the fall before winter.
Yeah, I mean, they can do that. They've got the conservation approval up there. For zoning board of appeal, they'll literally be coming in front of us and say, we're applying for a minor modification, this is what we've done. And move on, so I think even we can do it with H, even if it's not approved, we can do it as a minor modification in progress or something, if we have to before they want to do construction. We also only have 2 meetings in the summer, so I'm not too worried.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
even if they start work on their own peril.
Bill, you had a question?
Just with McGrail, has he already been like assigned by the town to be
Yes,
the
he
attorney at the very start of this project,
Yeah.
right? That was
Yeah.
that, and that carries through for the,
Yes.
To the end.
Yeah.
Yep,
okay.
and he was $0.
Any other questions or comments?
Jeff, when are those meetings this summer? Do you happen to know? Generally?
Oh, July 14th, maybe? Or 17th?
Okay, we can look it up. Yeah, I think because the
August
package,
14th, maybe.
okay. Yeah, we obviously need to give Brian enough time to assemble the language that goes with the package. So, okay,
Right.
right.
Will we be in front of the TAC before then?
Sure hope so.
Okay, I just didn't know.
Is it the next
they'd given
TAC
us a
meeting
date.
like
We
next
haven't
week?
received their response back, so.
Yeah, right, so I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go through Bill, I would go through Lieutenant Anderson.
He's on there too, so everyone's on that.
But
We'll
Yeah.
reach out to him to try to set it up.
so I would get him to put us on the agenda.
That's what we asked for when they reached out. just
Yeah, but,
In front of the full committee.
yeah,
Yeah, we can,
I don't know, when's that meeting?
he just said he'd get us in front of the July meeting,
Did he tell
on the
you,
July.
did he tell you when that was? They may not have said it yet.
Look that up too, I thought there was.
Is my understanding that they hadn't set a date yet.
Probably not. They're a little loose. But to that point, I thought your response was very good to them.
Input from, bit of input from Peter as well.
All good.
So I think next up is the construction update. There's a series of photos.
Okay, this is the rebar and the slope section of the auditorium. You can see the conduit sticking up to bring power for the lights at the seats. This is just a photo of the AVB getting installed on the facade. This is the, let me get my orientation. This is the underground, I believe, in either the kitchen or the game bathroom in D building. You can see
And Marcus, how far along is that? How, is this done?
this is done. We walked that, that's poured. The second section of the D building is getting poured Friday, so.
So is there any more underground plumbing that has to happen anywhere?
There might be one or two single bathrooms in F building as we pull out and finish up the slab on grades, but majority of it's done. This is a picture of the conduits coming into one of the electric rooms. This is a photo from the upper lot, kind of facing the east side of the building. That's building A, which you can see is pretty much close to be done on AVB, and then AVB starting on the B building east side. This is a photo of the sunshade brackets getting installed on the east side of building B. We rigged in the condensing units last week. You can see they were getting set on the steel and getting welded on. This is the overhead ductwork. This is the exhausted getting bathroom with D building right outside the gym. This is a photo of the mock-up. You can see the granite getting set, the insulation. This is kind of getting ready for that second pour on the D building. You can see they're setting up that pour stop and then getting the stego down and taped off. This is the CMU curb up on the roof level, kind of call it C building lower roof. Get this on so we can finish the roof. And just some windows getting installed. And this is a refrigerator rack connecting all of them. All right, look ahead schedule. So just some highlights. The Northeast last day was today. Wakefield last day is tomorrow. So it kind of frees up some area around the building. Bond is self-controlling some of the power grid blocking in building B, C, and D right now, and then we'll work on building F weeks. The mock-up in the parking lot lighthouse started precast install today. Hopefully I'm getting that done, and then brick is starting on the mock-up this week. The interior mock-up on the third floor, we're boarding and taping this week. Marshall, like I mentioned, the second slab on grade in building D is happening Friday, and then we're planning on pouring the slope section of the auditorium that we saw in building E, hopefully Monday or Tuesday next week. Lighthouse masonry is also in the main building, installing CMU curbs up on the roof, what you saw, also at the greenhouse. And then they're planning to start installing the granite in buildings A and B, targeting brick starting on the actual building, hopefully 6:30. Roman Iron is scheduled this week to install stair C2 that is right next to the building C elevator. The waterproofing company's on site doing the primary sales around the windows in buildings A, B, and C. PJ Spillane's on site going through the ABB install. They're mainly on the building B, east, south, and west elevations, starting on building C, west elevation, and then they're going to be working on building E, north, kind of above the music rooms. And fireproofing is just jumping around where they can to fireproof. They're also going to be starting the intumescent spray on stairs starting on A1 this week. Greenwood's working on flashing the parapets in building B. working on the high roof of the auditorium, getting that done. And then they'll move into building F, lower roof after that, and then fall back for seeing the roof after the masonry is done. Sunrise is on site, working through the sun-story brackets in B, installing green grit support around where their metal panels are going on building A, and then they're kind of waiting for the curtain wall for building A around the stair once the intermezzo is done. Lockheed just working through window installs on building A, they're wrapping that up, and then they're all starting on all elevations on B, and then they'll move into C west elevation. Century drywall exterior, their framing and sheathing, over at the area C media center, and then they're gonna be working down to D and E, D building D building and E building east and south on the second floor up while we wait for the slabs to be poured. Interior, they're framing the shafts in the B rooms and the classrooms on the second and third floor. They're working on in-wall blocking throughout, installing door frames in B, and then window blocking ongoing. Amante's working on overhead piping in building E, just trying to connect to the roof drains so we can manage water. They're doing in-wall buttoning up on A so we can get that closed off and sign off on in a couple weeks. Working on rough plumbing in the culinary art kitchen near the C bridge, and then just working on roof drains in auxiliary gym. JCI Fire Protection's working on overhead mains in the first floor, B, C, and D. We're driving towards connecting the temporary standpipe to the fire department connection on the D side, west side of D, so that we can get that connected and give them connection. PJ Kennedy is working on refrigerant piping, mainly in the C building and D building. They're working on connecting those condensing units you saw on that picture that they set last week, and then installation is kind of ongoing. Worcester is installing duct on C third floor, B1 and C1, and they're kind of wrapping up the D first floor as well in the kitchen kind of to this area. Wayne Griffin is in slab lighting in the E building slope slab, so we get that forward, kind of building out the lecture rooms as you saw, and just kind of doing overhead rough and MC pulling. That's kind of it.
Mark, it's a ton of people on site. How are you guys breaking up the responsibilities of oversight? Are you guys taking trades, or are you taking buildings? How are you?
So Jerry, obviously, over everybody, Steph does the envelope, and then Brandon does the interior.
Okay.
Yeah, any questions? You got a schedule? The sample classroom. What is the anticipated time period sort of guesswork
I would say it's gonna be wrapped up sometime in August.
in August?
Yeah,
And when would all the slabs be poured?
hopefully August as well.
The reason I asked is that I was informed last week that town council wants to visit the construction site. We thought it would wait until the thing has been poured before we can actually.
I think we should push it off till September.
Yeah, I think that's one thing, and two, if it's gonna be August,
Yeah.
or like late August, you know, after, and I think it makes sense once the sample classroom is done. And the thing has been poured,
Yeah.
all right?
That's September.
Is the site tour on the 10th?
July 10th, yep.
All right, so this, yeah,
Yeah, send out, make sure a new invite.
4 o'clock.
Right,
Yeah, there was an invite sent for July 10th sidewalk.
So working group next Thursday instead?
no,
No,
no, we're just,
we'll just wait until the.
no, wait. I mean, if something comes up, Yeah,
There hasn't been any emergencies yet.
I mean, if there's an emergency, we'll have to do something,
Yeah.
but, you know, like I'll be able to. Any questions regarding the schedule and construction update?
Do we want to mention canceling that right now? Or-
Lynn's gonna. Yeah, Lynn,
So,
there'll be no night, nothing Thursday.
good, okay, that's good, and then, the next, PBC site tour will be on the 10th, and followed by the working group on the 10th.
Yep. And the 17th is
And
the
17th is the next PBC meeting.
meeting. And once I hear from Helen on the subcommittee, we'll figure out when those times are gonna be at that time. Once Helen lets me know.
Will do.
All right. Is there anything,
Salt shed or no?
Joe's not here.
yeah, we're gonna do it. I said, regarding the salt shed,
Okay, so I can make a motion.
go
So
ahead.
we received the RFP for the salt shed. Everybody's had a chance to read it. Even, I think what happened, Joe's really good about showing up, I think. The 19th to the 17th, we may not have relayed that to him. But unless there's, so if anybody has questions, we can try to answer it. But an RFP really will go out from the town. And then there's dates within it that people have to respond to. So I will make a motion that we accept Joe's, so not to delay it, we accept Joe's salt shed RFP and give him permission to put it out on the street.
I will second that.
Any questions or comments? Okay. I think it makes sense to do that. Jason,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes,
Wayne,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Yes,
Mark.
I had a question, sorry.
Oh,
Everyone in the boat, but like, after we receive the proposals, what are the next steps? Like, do we have to meet separately? just
Well, if you look
about-
at the thing, we then have to do some, grading of the proposals. And there's like, I don't know, there was like 8 or 9 categories and,
yeah,
you know, like,
I'll set up a sheet.
Okay, so the same.
it's the same
smaller
type that
project
we've had
we did
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know because it was smaller, if there was any other.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's the exact same, you know, like highly, high, average, low, whatever. And you categorize them, then it's just a number. Whoever gets the highest number.
So no interviews and like this project, this high school project
I
was
don't think any-
gigantic, so we interviewed, there was a large amount of.
Yeah, I don't think.
If when we go through it and we see all the proposals, if we feel that there's a need to interview, we can.
We have that. all.
Or if they're,
Okay,
or if the scoring comes out that they're too deadlocked and we want to meet with them, we can. But if there's one clear winner, then it's easy, we can just award it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yep, thanks.
and Mark, you're okay with the?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so that's unanimous. All right. Any questions or comments, anything?
Seeing none, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
And all in favor, head on out.
Well done,
And,
well done.
see everybody happy 4th and all that good stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody.